All right, everyone. Got the music, courtesy of Ira. While we get up here, Andrew's on the stage with us, coming on. Everybody coffeeed up, ready to go? There we go. All right. Thanks for the music coming in, Ira. That's always a nice added touch. Welcome everyone again to the Exit Your Way Roundtable. Glad to have you here. Just glad to have you here. We're going to have a little fun today. Hopefully, doing some networking. I know a lot of you know each other. There's a few new faces in the crowd today. I think we're going to have. Looks like we're going to have about 3 tables of people. It's going to work out really well for what we're doing. It's going to be good. We're going to talk a little bit about referrals and really. Referrals are I'm talking about them universally, whether you're a job seeker, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a salesperson trying to get referrals, they're important to all of us. And really what we want to do is talk about, the process of getting referrals, building that connection up and doing those kind of things. And it's something that, I know Brad's on the call today. Brad and Andrew and I talked about this. Hell, when was that, Andrew? It was like in February, March of this year. What would it be like if we had 100 really strong referral partners?
Mm-hmm. And Brad Smith pointed out, have you asked for one?
yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about that today too. But it's true. It's really, you think about it and you go, okay, what if I had X amount of good people that are referring me business consistently, or I knew would refer me business if it came around. So it's really getting that set up and thinking about, how you're really building that network and what you're doing and how you're nurturing that. So what I was hoping we would talk about today are some of those things. We're going to run through at about 8:10 here. Or whenever we finish this part. We're going to run through a few rounds of networking. That's going to finish up about 8:40. We'll do a quick wrap up about 8:45. There's other things we're going to talk about until 9. We're done at 9. I know I just realized today I had the meeting request wrong. Goes till 9:30. Everybody's going to get an extra half hour in their day that they didn't think they had. Bonus. And we'll go from there. So Andrew, what are your thoughts on referrals and the whole topic today?
Awesome. I think, we just keep looking back and figuring out where our business comes from. And I think it's huge. 80% is probably referrals. Having that introduction, even if it's a soft referral, this makes, an immense difference. So it's really, I love the idea of really focusing on this and seeing how we can get the most out of referrals amongst all of us too, because they're everywhere to be had.
They are. And Ira, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, so referrals are the key to success. I don't care if we're talking about online or offline. I've been a referral-based salesman for my whole career. Bowman Digital Media has never paid a penny in advertising. I haven't spent one single penny in my operating budget. None of it goes towards any paid advertising. And I haven't had to. 100% of my business so far at Bowman Digital Media has been referral based. Either people I know directly or people that are one-offs, basically. Like, hey, I know them. They said that you do a good job at this. We want to work with you. Great, right? So The biggest thing, and Brad Smith hits on it, one of the reasons why I get the referrals that I get is because I'm not shy about asking for referrals. And you can do it in a couple different ways. You can write somebody a direct message, an email, or a letter and say, hey, can I get referrals? I'd be happy to give you referrals, which is a part of this. And Mike has alluded to this in the comments already. Serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com, that platform is basically based on this idea of let's do win-win networking, which comes down to a couple things. But really what it boils down to, if you look at it from a business standpoint, is when you know somebody who needs what I do, you send them to me. And when I know somebody who needs what you do, I'm going to send them to you. So if people are thinking like that throughout their regular day, that's great. The referrals, the reason why they work is they're based on trust. It's borrowed trust. It's like a extended credit for somebody who hasn't earned it from you yet, but they've earned it from somebody that you trust. So they're basically saying, I vouch for, God help me, Mike O'Connor. I vouch for that sucker. He, anyways, the guys from Wichita is all right. Anyways, I just learned it.
And it is. It's about that part of it, and how you are. You've selected the right people to be a referral person that you're going to spend the time, and then B, how are you going to develop that relationship to be able to ask for the referral, and then how are you going to follow up once you get the referrals?
Well, all of that's important. I want to say this though: if you're having trouble getting referrals, it is likely it's just like people who make posts on social media who don't get any comments, they don't get any engagements, and they don't know why. It's like, well, you know why? It's because you're not doing that yourself. Like you have to lead by example. You have to be the one who instigates it, initiates it, and start the conversation. So if you want referrals, then start giving people referrals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. It comes down. This world is full of people that are self-absorbed or they're lazy. There's a whole variety of issues, but it's easier to do nothing than it is to do something. So for most people, if you're kind to them, they're going to be kind back, right? They give you what you give them. So if you go ahead,
I think it's really important that you're talking about though is getting referrals is a good feedback loop to whether you're doing the right things or not, right? And I think giving referrals out is one aspect of it too. Having that trust with the person who refers you to. Also, do they have the trust of the people that they're referring to as well, right? Well, you don't know that until you build that relationship, but
well, and that's the thing, the quality of the referrals. Sometimes people are just throwing out your name, but there's nothing, so you might get 10 referrals, but they're all kind of just like, twos and threes out of tens. Or you might get, one referral every 3 months from somebody, but it's like super solid. They've already pre-qualified for you. They're like a good match, and that would be like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Yeah. So it's not just about the quantity of the referrals; it's also about the quality. It's like if you're paying one of these services for lead gen. Oh, I'm going to send you 5 to 6 leads a week, or I'm going to send you 5 to 6 leads a day. But all for garbage. Then what's the point of that? So
that's lead gen.
Yeah, Andrew Deutsch makes a good point here. Both referrals and introductions are important, and I agree. And they are kind of, the introductions are good, and that's you need to be, if you're looking to build your network or trying to connect with a certain different level, different type of group. Introductions are your way into those groups a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing as well.
Well, we could talk about that, strategies for introductions and referrals, which I think are, to Andrew's point, I think they're both important. I try when I give a referral to make the introduction at that point. So that I can just give, like if I want to introduce Andrew, since he made the comment, if I want to introduce Andrew to somebody, refer Andrew, his business services to somebody, what I would do on social media is I would start a private chat, and I would put the person that I'm trying to introduce or refer to Andrew and Andrew in a chat together. Now, what's cool about that on LinkedIn is they don't have to be directly connected, and they're likely not if I'm referring them anyway. Right? So now they can start to talk. And typically what I do is I will start the chat, and I will let them know, like, hey, I think that you guys would be good, and here's why. Give them so they don't have to like do that dance. And then I just want to make sure that they communicate with each other. And once they do, then I typically will back out of that conversation so that we talk pricing or whatever without, you know what I mean? Because that's none of my business at that point. But that's how I do it on social media.
You make a great point there, because when I get a referral and somebody just says, hey, Damon, you should call Bob or Sandy, they need your, they might be interested in your help. Well, that's in my mind, that's not really a referral. Someone just told me about a potential. It's like a, semi referral, man. It's just not really the referral. The real referral is, like you said, I'm going to email Adam. Adam talked about creating your own introduction email.
Yeah, I want to come back to that for sure.
Yeah. You got to have that introduction email that goes along with that referral to the person that you're referring someone to, that says, hey, I'm referring Adam Deutsch to you, Jim, because I think he can help you out with this. Yeah. And that is an introduction / referral that I feel allows Andrew to take the next step and reach out, set up an appointment, and conduct his work.
I want to say something. I want to interject something here, and this goes to LinkedIn recommendations, and it goes to referral letters or referral emails. I think the very best ones are the ones that are the most simple and down to earth, because they don't come off as a sales pitch. If I read a referral letter from somebody or a message from somebody who knows me, let's say it's you, Damon. You and I speak every day, right? So if you send me an email that's 4 freaking paragraphs long and reads like a brochure, I'm going to know that that's horseshit. Somebody wrote that and sent that to you and said, sign it. And that's not how we talk.
Yeah.
So you want to know what I think the most believable referrals are? 1 or 2 sentences that say, hey, dude, this guy can give you a kick-ass website and he'll get it done quickly.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to write. You don't need Adam. Look, you're doing financial services, and I actually owe that guy a call. I'm such a jackass. Anyway, sorry, Adam. I owe you a call. I will call you today. So here's the deal. Like, I don't agree. I understand. Look, I have a marketing degree. I understand fancy words and keywords and all that stuff. I get it. But I think the master class comes down to what we're talking about is trust.
Yeah.
So Andrew said it, and I 100% agree with it. You're using the trust that's already been established. They know what you need. They know what they do. And they're saying, guys, you guys should get together. And that's all you need.
Yeah. And that's, but that's a lot of, I was talking about it in the comments there a little bit. That's, in order to get referrals, you need to be a referral source too, but it takes work. What Damon's talking about too isn't necessarily just you need this from them, but you're actually talking. This is the deepest level. You're talking to that person like they're your client. You're understanding, hey, I'm really frustrated. I've been working on this website. I had this and this problem. And you know what? I know Ira so well that I go, you should talk to Ira Bowman because he did this and that for this other customer. And even look at his website, right? Because I know that because I talked about it, right? And it's that background work that's the highest possible level. But man, it's a lot of work, right? That's the other thing too. It isn't flim flam just throwing names around.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. There's an intimate or intricate knowledge that has for the best referrals. They come from, and that's where we were talking before the show. Damon, you're reading a book with the 5, 50, and 100, right? And that's the same idea. It's like these referrals, the best referrals are coming from that inner circle, that 50, not the 5 necessarily, but the 50, right? If you're giving me a referral to somebody that you just connected with, it's not that that's useless. It's just that that's not as strong because the power of the referral is only as good as the relationship between the person giving the referral to the person who needs the service.
Yeah.
So forget Bowman Digital Media for a moment. If Damon's referring me to somebody that he's only known for 3 weeks and's only talked to twice, that strength of that referral is not very good for me. Even though I might be the perfect vendor for that person, and we still might do business, but I'm gonna have to work harder to prove it than if it's somebody that Damon's done business with for 15 years and he calls up on the phone. And this is my point to Adam. That pre-written, ask for referral letter that you would give for them to send out, because that's what you're talking about. Let me write you a script whenever somebody needs it, send them this. You don't need that for the best referrals, because the best referrals, I can just call and say, hey, dude, hey, Mike, right? I talk to Mike every day.
I think the most powerful thing you can say too is, when you're giving a referral is I worked with Ira before, or I worked with them. You should see what they can do. And if you look at Exit Your Way on the board there with our team, well, we work with all those folks.
Yeah.
And I'm always, I think that's the real key is really looking hard at finding out people who get things done, right? Because you can refer them, but then, man, that just builds your bank. then refers the door's going to kick open. Then you don't have to go kicking the doors open. It's people that are coming in your belt.
I think this is a key point too, Andrew. We talk about all the time. We work with a team at Exit Your Way. They've all been vetted, right? But they've not only been vetted. We work with them on multiple projects all the time. So it's like I'm not telling you about somebody I think can do a good job for you. I'm telling you about somebody I know and I've worked with. That's the strongest message. And and when you're giving a referral like that to somebody that I'm not even going to shop that person.
Yeah. So if you put that around, then what's that do on the other side? When you're looking to get a referral from somebody you haven't worked with them before, or you're starting that relationship. But that's good too. I mean, I think in a way it's okay. It's not impossible. And you don't get to work with everybody, obviously, too, but you can find out what people are capable of and that kind of stuff. That's a skill set.
Yeah.
Develop. But rising ships, everybody's boat goes up, right? So
and I think the strategy for the referral, if I want to summarize what we've just said, and I've never actually thought about this all the way through, I guess, but there are two lanes to the referrals: the people that I know really well, and the people that I know of or about, but I don't actually know. And maybe Adam, maybe it would be a good idea for me to write a template or, just give somebody some summaries of the services I do if I don't know them really well. But at that point, I don't know that they would be referring me business, I guess. But for me to refer out, if I'm like, hey, Adam is a CFO for hire, and he'll do anything from, bookkeeping to any accounting help, whatever, and then you give me like 3 different blurbs for each thing because I want to refer you. That, I guess that would be good because I've never actually worked with Adam, right? I know Adam and I know that I like him, even though he's a Vikings fan. I don't understand, but
oh gee, you didn't have to bring that up. I grew up in the shadow of the Vikings and I hated it. But anyway, Dennis makes a good point. I just can't even start talking about football because Dennis makes a good point. He says referrals are not a quick flash in the plan, for growth. It's a long-term growth plan that helps.
The best way. I think it's the best way to grow. It
is.
But I think it's the best. So.
Yep. So we're coming up. We got to get into the networking here because we can talk about this and the comments are going well. But there's a few things that I wanted to generate some ideas on. And we're gonna wrap this up about 8:45, and then we're gonna do let you finish up, and we're gonna be done by 9. I'm sorry I didn't get the meeting right today, but it will be next week. But the first time, what we want to do is we want to jump to the tables. If there's somebody new, let's do a quick introduction around the table: who you are, how you help people, and why you're networking today. And then there's 2 questions in the first sessions that I want to talk about. One is, how do you build value ahead of the referral? Mm-hmm. Because how do you build that with someone? I've identified, hey, I want Andrew Cross. We want to work together. Let's now be a good referral partner. Now, what do I do to build that referral?
Yeah. So is the referrer that you're seeking, is that the avatar then that we're talking about, or the customer profile?
So I think it goes to who compliments you. Like, okay, so if I'm in Bowman Digital Media and I offer, graphics and website services, but I don't do, I don't know, whatever. I don't do voiceover work, or I don't do motion videos or something like that. I'm looking for partners who do those things, so that when one of my clients or somebody I run into who needs it, I can say, hey, I don't do that work, but you could use X, Y.
So I'm talking about, I've found that person already, but how do I build value with them so they're going to be comfortable referring someone to me? What are the steps you take? What are some specific things you do? So let's go to the tape. And then the second question that I want to talk about in this same session is, how do you then ask for the referral from that person?
The first time, the first like break the ice.
Yeah, break the ice referral. So I've spent the time doing whatever we're going to talk about, building the value ahead of the referral.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to break the ice with asking the referral. How do you do that? So those are the two things. So we're going to do a quick run around, introduce everybody. If you don't know someone, go around the table. We're going to take. What's that?
How long do we have? 10 minutes?
10, 12 minutes.
Are we sitting at the same table or are we moving?
We're not going to move this one.
Okay.
We're not going to move. And after the event, there's going to be 10 minutes or so. You can talk to somebody you haven't met and do that. I really want to spend time on how we're going to build value. How do you ask for the referrals? And then the next one we're going to do, how do you follow up after the referral? Yeah. So Andrew then referred me something. How do I follow up with Andrew? Not with the person that was referred. How do I keep Andrew in the loop? And then the final question is, if we have time for this, how do you support those referral sources long term? So we're going to have two questions first time, two questions second time.
The first question is how to get the referral.
Yep.
And how to break the ice and ask for it.
How do you build value ahead of the referral? How do you ask for the referral? That's what we're going to talk about now. So we're going to go back to the tables and talk about those.
I just typed that in the chat for you guys. How to build value ahead of the referral and how to ask for it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. See you at the tables.
All right. Awesome. We're getting the guys up here now.
I just noticed that Darth Vader is almost directly over my head. That is so awesome.
You coming on? There we go.
There he is.
All right.
He was hand pumping his internet in Utah. How you gotta get the internet.
All right. Well, hey,
I got a pedal while I'm talking.
to keep the power going. Andrew kind of lives in the country, but it's good stuff here, people. We don't want to take much time on the stage. We're going to drop back in and do some more comments. But in the chat, you can download the chat. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Ira was making the point. When we get in back to the tables, you can download chat. If you don't download, let me know. I can send it to you.
Because there's a lot of tips. You guys, a lot of people were putting the answers when Damon asked that question. You know, they're putting the answers, which are great. And anyways, you can learn some stuff that can help you out.
Yeah.
A couple of things. I just want to summarize real quick. A couple of things that we talked about at our table. One was you have to be professional. If you want people to send you referrals, you need to be referable. And I think Mark was the guy at our table, and he also said this. It was a Wayne Gretzky quote, and I didn't know how to spell Gretzky, so I put it in quotes, but I didn't put the name because I don't know how to spell Gretzky. Anyways, it's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic, right? If you're not asking people referrals, they don't necessarily know that you want them. And Jennifer Wagman, she said, and which is great, you need to make sure people know that you're open for new business. And I had this happen to me the other day. One of my friends, he's my very good friend. He reached out to me and he sent me a competitive quote from one of my competitors and said, "Hey, I want you to evaluate this for me. Let me know if you think this is a good deal." And I thought he was pulling my chain, but he was serious. He was going to use my competitor to do work that I do. And I'm like, "Why would you not use me?" He's like, "Well, I see you posting all the time. It looks like you're too busy." I'm like, "I'm not too busy. I'm looking for new clients."
Yeah.
Anyways, so to Jennifer's point, you need to let people know that you are willing to take business, and asking for referrals is a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our table, Melissa Orell came up with give, ask, receive.
Yeah.
I
take the comments. That was one of the reasons why I said download the chat, guys, because I wouldn't have necessarily seen that. And I'm sure there's other things that I've missed. So that's a good one.
And Mike was saying the same thing. He was talking about, hey, give referrals to support your network. There's nothing better you can do than do that. We also talked about the follow up when someone refers you. Don't just let that referral fall into a black hole with the person that referred someone to you, right? So Andrew referred someone to me. I should reach back out to Andrew and let him know what's happening, what the result was, and then if you're going to do work with them, follow up once in a while with the person referring and let them know.
Well, we just did that, and it wasn't the right fit, and we circled back with them to tell the referrer why it wasn't the right fit. And guess what? We just got a referral today from them again.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing about that, okay, so if someone sends you a referral, Andrew, you send me a referral, it is polite. It is the right thing to do to respond, to say thank you. So make sure you're thanking people.
Always do that.
If you want more referrals from somebody, show them that you appreciate the ones that they're giving. Even if they're not great, that feedback is good because in the future they can give you better ones too, but also just showing them your appreciation. And it doesn't have to be financial. It can just be a thank you. A thank you does go a long way. I never expected anybody to send me a check for a referral. All I ever really wanted was referrals in return. That's all I ever wanted.
There's that. So, exactly right.
Cool.
All right.
Well,
The question came in from Mark. When we go back to the tables, over the chat, there's a little box. It's a rectangle with an arrow pointing down. So it doesn't say download, but it's a picture icon, if you will. That's what you hit to download the chat.
Yep. So Andrew, take us out. We're going to go back to the tables, and then we'll finish up, 5 minutes after or something, and do that. We'll have some time here at the table. So,
see you later.
Great. Pretty good wrap up. What's next week bringing us?
Next week we're going to talk about mental health.
I thought we were bootstrapping a business.
What's that?
I thought we were bootstrapping a business next week. I got my week.
Oh, no, that's the week after. We're talking about bootstrapping a business in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So look, if you're in the audience right now and you want to own a business, but you don't think you can afford to own a business, we're going to tell you how you can.
Yeah.
Think again.
The bootstrapping method.
And then in our next networking thing, I think it's going to be on the 15th or 22nd of October. We're going to talk about, and I'll be sending stuff out to the group too. We're going to be talking about building your power network.
Boom.
Yep.
Boom.
Good stuff. All right. Going back to the tables. Thanks a lot.